Hello everyone and welcome. Today I have a special episode where I'll be redesigning a website. But the reason why this is special is because I am redesigning. Right, let me just check my audio and make sure my audio is fine. Right, it looks like my audio is fine. Okay, so as I was saying, this episode is very, very special because I will be redesigning my son's website. Now, he doesn't know what is going on, so it's going to come as a surprise when I've completed the project and I propose this to him. So let me just show you what the website looks like, what his website looks like currently, and I'll also show you what it would look like after I've redesigned it. Okay, so this is the current website. So you can see he's made an effort. I've convinced him to use Elegant Themes. So this is Elegant Themes Extra. So this is the blog. He also does videos, by the way, programming videos. Right. So I was thinking maybe I can make this look much better because I know he's not very, very good at design. He's more of a programmer. Right. So after I've designed the website, it's going to look like this. Okay, so this is the layout I'm going to propose to him. So all his posts are going to look like this. Okay, I just realized that when I was showing this, you were not looking at the right screen. Okay, so this is the before. This is how the website's going to look. I mean, this is what the website looks like currently. So this is his website. And after I've done the redesign, it's going to look like this. So you can see here we are showcasing his latest video, and the video also has a description here at the top. And in the background here, I thought I'll choose a desk, pretty much what a programmer would use. And then below here, I'm also going to help him build his mailing list by giving away an ebook for free. And then over here, this is where all these latest videos are going to show, like that. Excellent. So that's our project today. I'll be showing you step by step how I managed to design this page. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to welcome everyone that has just joined us. And already I can see some familiar faces. We have Michael Dennison. Thank you very much for tuning in. Alan, you've got Kennedy, Daniel, MCP Consultancies. We have John as well. And John, I will not try to pronounce the surname, so it's not going to happen. Okay, awesome. All right, so why not get started? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to my website and I'm going to build a brand new page. Right, so I'm going to come over here to my dashboard. And then I'm going to click on Pages, click on Add New. So I'm just going to call this Wild Rice. Click on Use the Divi Builder. And then I'm going to go straight into my Visual Builder. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here is to add my background image. So I'm going to come over here, click on my settings, click on background, and then I'm going to come over here to my third tab, click the plus button, and I've already got my background image already loaded, so I'm going to select it, click upload image. Right, so you can see here that the image now is in the background. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come on the first tab and add a color. Now, what I've done beforehand is, we can see here on his website that this is like his main color. So I've managed to create a palette based on that color. So I'm just going to copy this color right here. And by the way, if you want to create your own palettes, you can go to coolors.co. So that's coolors.co, COOLORS.co. Okay, so I'm going to come back over here. And then I'm going to add my color. I'm just going to paste it like that. And then I'm going to go back to my third tab And then I'm going to change my blend mode from normal to multiply. So now you can see that that color has been applied to my image. So for now, I'm going to close this because I'm going to add more information here. So I'm going to click my plus button, add a single column. In fact, I'm going to add a 2-column layout, and I'll show you why. And then on the first column, I'm going to add a video module. So I'm going to select it here like that. Now I need a video URL. So I'm going to come to his website here, and I'm going to copy the URL like that, and I'm going to paste it in here. Okay, so that's the video. But as you can see, this does not really look nice. This would look much better if it had an image overlay. So I'm going to come over here to overlay. I'm going to click upload. So I'm going to use an image that I already have on my media library. So I'm going to click upload an image. Right, so that's my video now with this image overlay. The next thing I'm going to do, because this button here does not match the colors that we have on our branding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on design, play icon, and then I'm going to click on the color. So I'm going to come over here to my color palette, and then I'm going to choose my color. But with these colors here, you can just play around and see which color works better. So that one is not really as nice. So I'm just going to stick to white because we have white in our palette anyway. Okay, so for now, I'm going to go ahead and save. Okay, so if you're following me, I hope you can all follow me. Is the pacing okay? Have you got any questions now before I move on what I've done so far? If you do have any questions, by the way, I'll occasionally look at the YouTube and Facebook channel and answer those questions as we go. So I'm going to check now and see if I've got any questions. Okay. Michael says all good. Awesome. Okay. Fantastic. Okay, so there's no questions so far. So it seems like everything is all right. I'm just going to check on Facebook and see if I have any questions here on Facebook. And it looks like there's no questions here on Facebook. Okay, right, so we're going to continue. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add a text module here. So I'm going to click this plus button, click on text. Right, so instead of using my dummy text as I normally do, I'm going to use some real text here. So I'm going to come over here to this YouTube channel. I'm going to copy this text right here. And then I am going to paste it in this area. Now, the only thing that's missing is the title. So I'm going to go back here, and the title is called Python Range. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my site and paste that. Now, what is important here is to make sure that you distinguish your text, because this makes it easier for you to customize it in the design settings. So what I mean by that is if you highlight this text and give it a heading, like for example, in this case, I'm going to give it a heading 1, I can then go now into the design and make changes to all of that. So the first thing I'm going to do here is to click on text and make sure my text color is set to, in fact, I can just change it from dark to light. So now we can read it, which is brilliant. Okay, now let me customize the title. So to do that, I'm going to scroll down to my heading text, and then I'm going to choose all caps. And over here, I'm going to add some spacing. I think that will do. Three is fine. Okay, brilliant. And then the next thing I'm going to do is to add a background. So I'm going to come over here to background and click this plus button here. And then I'm going to make my background black. So now you can see that it really stands out and I can read it much better. All right, so next I'm going to go in here because you can see here my text is right close to the edge. So we don't want that. We want to add some breathing space around that. So I'm going to come over here to spacing, And then I'm going to add 30 pixels all around, like that. Okay, so you can see now it's much better. Okay, so I'm going to save this for now. And the next thing I'm going to do, because right now you can see that this information here is not covering a lot of space. So I would like to increase the row section, the row settings. So I'm going to come over here to row settings, click on design, and then I'm going to come over here to sizing, and then click on use gutter width, and I'm going to set this to 2 because I would like this text to be closer to the video. And to do that, you'd use gutter width. Next, I'm going to come over here to custom width, and I'm going to use this as a percentage, and I'm going to set this to 70%, like that. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to save. Now we can see that I've pretty much designed this top part that fast. So now it looks much different. It's unique, and it looks definitely much better. I'm sure you can agree with me if I say this top part here looks much better than this. Okay? Right. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I am going to add a section which is going to have our call to action information to help him build his mailing list. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So over here, I'm going to click this plus button to add my section. So it's a regular section. I'm going to click on that. And then over here, I'm going to choose a single column. Right, so in that column, I'm going to have a call to action. So I'm just going to search for it, and here it is, call to action. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is to remove the background because that color does not work with our branding. So I am going to click on background. So here where it says use background color, I'm going to say no. Okay, and then next over here on my text, and in fact before I add my text, because my text is going to be white text, it doesn't make sense for me to start adding it because I won't be seeing it against the background. So I'm just going to save this for now and first add my color to my section. So I'm going to come over here to my section settings and add my color. So as you can see, I'm pretty much bouncing back and forth between my color palettes, adding my colors because this is very, very important. So here I'm going to choose this color here, and I'm going to add this to the background by adding this plus button like that. Okay, so that's our color. Now, obviously you can choose different colors here on the color palette because all these colors will work well together. In fact, let's try this one here and see how that one looks. Okay, so I'm going to change this, paste it. Right, that's a bit too dark, so I'm just going to leave this as the main color. Okay, so I'm going to save that, and now I'm going to go back into my call to action module, click on the settings, and then here I'm going to start off by adding my title. So here on the title, I'm just going to say download my free ebook. Today. For my button text, I'm going to call this download now. Like that. Now, I've just entered the button text, but you can't see the button yet. That's mainly because I need to add the link or the URL to that button. So let me do that. So over here, we have a link. I'm going to click on button URL. For now, I'm just going to add a blank link like that. And as soon as I've done that, you can see now that my button now shows, which is brilliant. Okay. Next, I am going to go into my design. So in here, you can go ahead and further customize this text to make it look, differently or maybe customize it. But for now, I'm just going to leave it as it is and save. So if you have any questions so far, please drop them in the comments box below so I can answer them as we go through. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to reduce this gap here. This is a bit too much, so I'm going to set it to 20 and also 20 here, like that. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly check on my comments and see if anyone is asking questions. Right, so fantastic. John says, love your color palette ideas. Yes, thank you very much. Jamie says, filters feature, not blend feature. Not sure what you mean by that. Kenny says, you said, where can I create a palette? Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the link to that website in the comments box. So here it is, it's on its way. So there we go. So that's where you go to create your color palettes. Eduardo, I've just pasted the link to where you get the color palette. Okay, so let me just check. Awesome. Okay, looks very good. Right, so what I'm going to do now is, in fact, let me check if we have any Facebook questions. Okay, so far there's no questions. I've got a comment from Raphael saying, hello, Mac. Raphael, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Okay, right, so let's continue with our design. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to add our blog post. So what I've done ahead of time is I've gone in and created some blog posts which will have all this information on it. So I'm going to click this plus button here and I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to click regular. I'm just going to go for a single row, and in that row I'm going to add the blog module like that. So here by default you can see that it comes like this, but this is not how we want it. So let's change that. So first of all, I'm going to change the post number to 3. And then over here on the elements, let's customize this. So first you can see here, set featured image, fine, we need that. But the show author, we don't need that. So I'm going to select no to that. Okay, let's see. Do we need to show the date? No, so I'm going to say no to the date. And the categories as well, I'm just going to say no to that. Okay, right, so now let's change the layout. So to change the layout, we need to come over here to design, click on layout. Instead of full width, let's change this to grid. Right, so now we can see that our grid is now showing, and this looks much better. And again, this looks much better as well because we have these images on there. If you don't have images, your layout is not going to look nice. Okay, so now that we have this layout, there's a few things that we can go in and do. So I would like to add some, customize my borders. So instead of having them square, I'm just going to make them rounded. So I'm going to make them 6 pixels all around. So you can see now that I've got this rounded design here on my posts, and that looks great. Now the color, I'm just going to leave it as it is, but I can always go in and customize it. In fact, let's use the colors on our color palette. So I'm going to come over here to generate to my color palettes. I'm going to choose this color right here. I'm going to copy it, go back, and then I'm going to paste it in here. Like that. Now notice that when I paste that, it's really, really dark. So what you can do is use the second slider to add some transparency, okay? Because it's too strong. So that's what I normally do. Okay. So that looks much better. Okay, brilliant. So now that we have that in place, that looks good. I'm going to go ahead now and save. Now, we can see that the space that's been taken by these blog posts is a bit too, it's a bit too narrow, right? Ideally, we want this to be slightly wider so it matches with the width of what we have above, which is the video, and the text on the side. So let me show you how to do that. So remember, over here we set this to 70%. It's a good idea that we set this to 70% too. So I'm going to come over here to my row settings, click on design, sizing, and then on use custom width, I'm going to change this to the unit to percentage and make this 70%. Right, I'm going to save that. So now when I look at this page, we can see that it's all lined up in a much better way. Okay, so the next one I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this just to fill in the space like that. Okay, so now we have 6 posts in there. Okay, so now that we have this in place, ideally you want to title all your sections, right? So for this section here, we would like people to know that these are the latest videos. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to add the title to let people know what it is they're looking at on the bottom there. Okay, so I'm just going to check the questions. I'm going to check my YouTube comments to see if there's any questions. And by the way, if you're just joining us, this is my Saturday live show where I show you tips and techniques to inspire you to design better, awesome looking websites. Okay, so today I'm just doing a redesign of my son's website using Divi. Okay, so he initially built his website using Extra. Not to say there's anything wrong with Extra, but I just thought I could use Divi and create a different layout. And let me just show you quickly what the layout looks like. So over here, this is his website. He does programming videos. So this is what we've done so far in the redesign. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to read some comments and see if we have any comments here. Jamie says, any update on the bug with the new filter feature? I'm not sure if there's a bug. Is this from last week when we spoke? I can't remember now. I've got link error. I'm not sure what the link error is. Eduardo says, I've got a question. How much do you charge to build an e-commerce website? To be honest, at the moment, I'm not building websites. I just mainly create the content and provide a lot of training. So I don't really design website projects. Okay, Jamie says yes. Okay, last week, when in fact, the last time I did this video with the filters, it is not a bug. This is how it works. So towards the end, if you can remind me, I'll go in and I'll go through it and explain how it works again. But it is not a bug. I asked the developers and they said that that is how it works. Sage TV says, wow, excellent. Awesome, awesome. Right, over here on Facebook, I've got a question. I've got Thomas saying, how do I do 4 posts in a row? All right. By default, we can only do 3. So in order to do 4, you have to add some CSS code in that. And I would have to post the code, the CSS code snippet for you to be able to do that because I have to play around with it. And also, you know, I'm not really more of a coder. I'm more of a designer. So I know how to do it, but it will just take a bit of time on this live show. So I will show you, I'll add that code snippets in the show notes. Sonja says hello from Austria. Thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate it. Right, I've got another question here. This is from Kevin. He says, off-topic question. Maybe you can send me a PM. Okay, cool. All right, Kevin, I will send you a PM after the live show. Awesome. Okay, so it looks like I've covered all the questions. Right, so let's continue on. Okay, we've got someone from Russia, but again, I cannot pronounce the name because the letters are not the, you know, what I'm familiar with in the English alphabet. So sorry about that. Right, okay, let's continue on. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to add my titles. So I'm going to start off by adding a new row, single column, and then it's going to be a text. I'm going to select text, and then in here I'm just going to label this latest videos like that. Okay, now I'm going to go into design. We can see the text here at the bottom. I'm going to drag it on the top, so just bear with me. I just need to style it first before I do that. So I'm going to come over here to text and make it all caps, slightly bigger. I would say about 20. I'm going to make it bold as well, like that. And then on the later spacing, I'm going to set it to 3. So that's looking good. Save that. Okay, now I'm going to drag it all the way to the top. Right, so if you notice now, my row is not going all the way because I haven't customized it to the same row size as the rows that we have here on the bottom and on the top. So I need to customize that as well. So I'm going to come over here, go into my row settings, click on design, sizing, and I'm going to use custom width, change the unit to percentage, set it to 70%, like that. Okay, so that's looking good now. But there's one more thing that we can do, which was added in recently. So let me show you how to add a line below that text. So I'm going to click here on this gear icon, click on design. Then I'm going to come over here to border, select the bottom one, like that. And then I'm just going to increase that to, let's say, 4. I think 4 is fine. Right, so now that I have that, I'm going to go to spacing. On the padding bottom, I'm going to add, let's add 30. No, that's too much. In fact, let's try 10. You see, this is the beauty of using the Visual Builder, because you can see and make adjustments as you're designing your website, which is fantastic. Right, so I've got this now, but obviously the line is way too long. So let's fix that. So I'm going to come over here to sizing, and then on the width, I'm going to reduce that to about, let's say, 30%. So we can either center this if you wanted to, but I'm just going to leave it on the left like that. So over here on the border, I'm going to change the color. And again, I'm going to go to my color palette. So let's see which color we're going to use now. Let's use this red. Okay, I'm going to paste my color in here like that. So you can see it's updated here, which is brilliant. And then I'm going to go to the text and change the text color as well. And I'm going to have the color the same as the line. Okay, brilliant. So that's looking really good now. So I'm going to save this for now, and then I am going to show you where I added all the posts. Right, so I'm going to come over here to my dashboard, click on all posts. Right, so all I've done here in the posts is I've just added a title and also added the text. So let me show you where the text is. So I'm just going to go into edit. So all I have here is this dummy text and the title here on the top called post 1. And then all the way over here, I have my featured image. So that's what shows on the front of the website, those featured images, these, okay? So that's all I did. Add my featured image, add my text, and you can actually go ahead and also add your categories over here, but I will show that in another video. So that's how you add your titles, your blog posts, and this is how it looks. Okay, I'm going to save this page. Right, so I'm just going to briefly check and see if we have any questions. The link to the color is broken. Whoa, that shouldn't be the case. Let me try it one more time. In fact, I'm going to test it myself and see if it's working. Okay, so the link is working. I'm going to paste it back into the chat. Okay, so Eduardo, do you want to try that link one more time? That should work. I've just tested it. Okay, so right, so it looks like we don't have any more questions. I'm just going to check on Facebook and see what we have here on Facebook. Okay, so no questions on Facebook. Okay, so I am curious. Do you think that this design that I've just done here, the final design here, in fact, let me exit the Visual Builder so we can see it. Okay, so with a show of hands, do you think that this design here that I've just done in this live is better than what my son attempted to do here? If you think it's better, please give me a 1 in the comments. If you think it's not better, please give me a 2. So I'm curious to see what you think about the new design that we've just done. But by the way, I'm not being very harsh on him because I know he's more of a programmer, so design is not like his main thing. So I do help him here and there with his design, so he won't be upset. Okay. Right, let me check and see if there's any responses. And I see a 1 from Jamie, 1 from Monique. Okay, I see a lot of 1s. Fantastic. Awesome. Okay, so that means we've done a very good job here on redesigning this page. So go ahead, try these techniques of how to build your pages fast. Now, if this seems very overwhelming for you, I have a course on diviuniversity.com, which shows you pretty much everything that you need to know in order for you to design awesome looking websites. I also go through how to use all these tools, and in that course I also show you how to design a website as part of the project. So that will be a very good starting point if you want to learn how to design your own websites. And this library is going to grow as well because I'm designing a lot of courses behind the scenes, because so far I've had a lot of positive reviews from people that have been signed up onto this course. So I'm really excited about this. So this is what's pushing me to make even more videos. More courses. The next course in line is how to build membership websites using Divi. So keep an eye on that. It's slightly been delayed because there have been a few updates that I wanted to make sure were in that course before I finalize it. So it's going to come very, very soon. And if you're not signed up onto our mailing list, please make sure you go to diviuniversity.com, sign up for the mailing list, and you'll be notified every time I post new videos or every time there's an announcement. So please do that. And also here on Facebook, if you haven't subscribed, please do so that you get notified when we release new videos. Right, so I'm just going to check one more time to see if I have any more questions before I finalize this. Okay, it looks like we don't have any more questions. Okay, thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and I will see you again on Saturday next week. Take care and have a great weekend.